Hey everyone, it's Tony. Just joining for the live here. I'm just gonna kick it off just let it kick off for a second here. Shut this door behind me. All right, let's get started. So, uh, let me give you a little bit of an update. Yesterday, we developed this kind of progression here. This is the standing character into this slash motion, which is going to accelerate it into its jump. Uh, Ultimately, I guess I should get A Sprite opened up here. Ultimately, we're building an attack loop that I call draw slash smash, and it's kind of looking like this. That's the running. Then this is this is the drawing. Then this is the slashing. Then this is the smashing here. And right now, like what I'm actually working on is this. Let me blow it up here. That probably is pretty tiny, but I'm working on this like last sprite here because I had a falling animation. If you were following last time, I called it a smashing one where he was like falling through the air. But I think what I'm gonna probably do instead is generate just whatever. It's just gonna drop directly down. It's gonna be like a teleport straight down, and I'm gonna create from wherever you are to wherever the floor is. I'm just gonna create a smear of like this, just extend it. And basically, if you hit somebody in that, that'll kill them. And that I think that's going to be the entire thing that I prototype on. Just like where is the fun in that? So that I'm calling the work in progress title I'm calling it right now is draw slash smash, and I will show you kind of. Bear with me at the end because I didn't finish it, but I'll kind of show you what it's looking like just so you get a sense. It says standing guy, he kind of gets ready, he draws, he runs, he slashes, and now he's gonna smash. And yeah, there's some trash frames over here that I don't know why this loop is supposed to bring it back around, and it's not supposed to go to the trash frames, but for some reason it is. All right, so this is where I'm at. Like this strike here, and if you, what is that? So ignore these names. As the pieces have gotten all over the place. This is kind of a silhouette I put in here, like where I imagined he would just like rough drew it in there to give it a real sense. I might actually put a black silhouette in there when you do the smash motion, just so you see for a second, and then it'll pop back into color like this. Except this won't have the. Um, yeah, this won't have some of this stuff. I'm not. Oh yeah, something like this. I think this is what I was working on. So let me just get rid of this whole sword thing. I can just move this up into this frame, and I don't think I want anything anymore from this on this. So we'll just. Yeah, see, this is why this is just like exploratory frames I did where I wanted to hold on to some of the graphics, and so like I can just also take these out here. This is not how I think organized people do this. So, but uh, I'm not about sugarcoating the process. This is how I do it. So we'll delete that layer. Okay. And I think we'll run this just to see. So just to make sure it still looks normal. We didn't just delete anything important. Yeah, I mean that it looked pretty. I mean, it's got a hold right here for a frame, and he's got to have a really heroic stance. Like that's what I'm trying to get down, which I'm clearly haven't quite got it, but I'm working towards it. But yeah, that's definitely the way. And I started putting this action lines thing because it helps me just be a layer that shows that there should be strong lines of action when you're creating animation. And so like I'm just trying to show the strong line of action, and that helps me see what should this line of action be, and it should be this. So I'm trying to create that while getting smashing effect going. So let's get into it. All right, so he's got two color legs, gray and black. Black is his closest one, gray is his furthest one. Um, and I kind of like, I guess I wish I had a reference for this because I don't know exactly what he's trying to do here. Sorry, I am not sharing my screen at all, so that's the benefits of nobody watching. All right, entire screen, and I'm gonna move this into here so we don't get the infinite effect. Share. There you go. So these are the action lines. So I'll show. I'll turn that off. I'll show the animation one more time for everybody who was not here. We'll kind of get it so it's in frame here. And yeah, still does those trash frames. Kind of looks cool. Like just this is the old smear for this. I emboldened a little bit. This is the old. See, do I have the old? This was the old smear for this one, and you can see like I really made it. I think a lot better here. And if you see the animation, it's better. This one was just like real chunky, and so yeah, I just kind of went through and I updated the smears since the last time. If you watched the last one, well, hold on. Oh, did we lose something? We might have lost something here. Let's go back. Oh, it was right there. Okay, let's go forward. So it was here the whole time. Yeah, this has a much like bigger cut there. And that is the nature of the game right now. What I'm trying to build is it all kind of originated from this like little study I did in the smear effect of like action where I make this like samurai guy swing a sword real quick and put it away slowly. And I guess the thought of there is like, what if I made a fighting game where smears are the hitbox and you are the hurt box, and it's going to be this position jostling thing where how do I jostle this position and get to the point where when I make this strike, they're in it and I'm not in theirs when they make theirs. And so as you watch the animation, you'll see there's always a frame where there's nothing but the smear, and that's kind of the point of that is going to be that's going to be your little hitbox and your little hurt box. And if you watched last time, we also decided that like things like this step will be a flash, so you'll be invulnerable for a second, so you can move through their slash if you time it right, slash into their slash, and so will this. There'll be like a slight flash upwards here. So I'm actually thinking, I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think the cool thing, it's always, fighting games are always rock, paper, scissors, and there's always like, what's the fighting game rule? What's the health bar thing? So for this game that I'm going to try to be able to play test by tomorrow night, I want it simply to be the opponents are moving at each other, and it's draw slash smash, and then you move out the other end, and then you like you just are going to keep doing that same thing with your opponent. And it might be dumb, it might like not be fun, but the point is it's something I can get to by Thursday, so we'll see. We'll find the fun along the way. So that's kind of where we're at. Let me get all these guys out of here. They're just kind of put a bunch of guys in there for the fun of it, just to make that cool little motion thing. And I'll put him back to full. This is Unity. This is what I'm writing in. This is the player controller that's called Zeb, just because Zeb watches me sometimes and he thinks it's fun and cute when I put his name and stuff. So And then this is the last thing I was talking about is I've updated some of this stuff, so I will probably have to re-import it, and I'll probably have to mess with stuff because I have a new stand animation where he's kind of gonna kind of like have a little motion while he stands there because and that's like the thing I like about the back and forth nature or the like you just get to do these three things is that like you never go back to standing still with your sword drawn. Like once it's drawn until you run out the other side of the thing. So that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be interesting. Let's stop talking about it. Let's make it. But the thing is, you'll see the old, like the old sprite in here because I haven't updated it quite yet. So um, first thing we do is just compile. Does it work? Sometimes we break it. And we'll see what we got so far. So you'll see like, well, one thing I'm noticing is that like, let's see here. If I kind of well, and I here's something that I have done. Like this is smaller. I've made it bigger. You can see it here. I made it pretty considerably bigger. This was the old one, so it's bigger. And the reason is because I want it to feel a little more protruding. And there's no reason. There's nobody's measuring the sword to be like, well, the sword pixel length isn't right because of this smear. It will feel right because it's supposed to feel like a big sweep. So that might be the next step is importing the sprite sheet. And to do that, I'm actually just going to cheat. I'm just going to take these. I'm just going to move them completely to the back. And the reason I'm doing this is because everything will be lined up at the same frame then still. So I won't have to do too much stuff. And these frames we're not even using yet. So this will be okay. How am I going to solve that long term? I don't know. We're just going to, oops. Okay. Sorry, this has been up to that's probably annoying. All right. I don't know what's happening there, but we're gonna export this again. And I think if I did that right, if we go to Unity, oops, one thing we forgot to do is shut off the background. Oh god, there's all kinds of, I'm sure there's a word for this, like these pixels are not where they should be. It's annoying. And there's still some back there. What frame is that on? Oh my god. Well, this is clearly got a little extra. I'm sure there's a faster way to do this, but I really don't know where these are at. Oh, there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, there's something to be said about learning your tools, and I should probably know this tool better because I've been using it now for a few years. But all right. I don't really care about these sprites though because they're not in the sprites we're using yet. So, oops, let's go back here. We'll just repeat the last export, which is Command Shift X. All right, so that's looking better. We still have to do some things because we haven't extended some of our smears and stuff. Like this one here. Editing is disabled. Okay, we're still in play mode, so go here. Then we'll spread editor. Then this one we can kind of stretch it so it gets to the right size, and when we save it, apply it. Should just be able to see it here. And if we go to our prefabs, these prefabs are tools where we can kind of build some of this stuff. It kind of looks like it is not updated there, but if I drag it into the scene, does it have the right? It does. Okay, so this like little thumbnail hasn't updated, but it is gonna work, and we should be able to see that. But if I double click it, it would update. So let's just see if it's working the way I expect it to. Yeah, we got a nice big slash now. Kind of like it feels pretty good. And that's like you won't get the back and forth. One thing I was talking about the other day on stream is that like I'm using the keys to initiate the strike, but I really want that to be the button. And so that's why like I also like going one direction, because then there isn't the need for that other thing. But then there is the lift, and I'm gonna like actually scale the screen down here. The lift, which is also has a nice like, ooh, there's some bug there, but let's ignore that for now. The flashes are maybe appearing for a little too long, but maybe not though. All right, so the thing we want to do is the smash, and the smash is going to be a little more complicated than I'm. Oh, we want to get it into the falling state. You'll notice like here's this falling state. So when we're falling, we want to look like that, and that's going to be, we're going to take our first look on the dev live stream at the animator. The animator is a state machine, and all a state machine is like is that the code will exist in one state until it exits into another state, and it'll move around that state machine based on a set of rules about when it exits and enters the other states. And in the states are the animations that it will run while it's happening. So while you're standing, there is a standing animation, which right now only has one frame. I want it to have these frames in it as well. So it kind of gives you like a little extra feeling there. There's jumping, flipping. This is because this is coming straight out of DevBlog, and flipping was the second state after jumping. Sliding, another one. Flying hurt, another one. Ground hurt. And then there's running. And see, we got some other ones. Falling, spiking, descent. None of these look like they're being used. But we are going to want a falling state, so I'm going to bring that in here, and really, I'm going to get rid of the. I mean, we're not making DevBlog here, so let's get rid of flipping. Let's get rid of sliding, and let's get falling in here. And falling is going to be a state that we can get to from standing, because if we are walking off a platform, we go into falling. So. And I think it should look like that motion. It'll kind of look interesting if we have platforms where you just kind of already are in this attack stance and you can slam down on people. So I don't know what this, I don't want behavior here, but what I do want is to add oh yeah. So I'm going to make a from standing, I'm going to make a transition to falling. I can kind of blow this up for if you guys actually want to be able to like see it. So from standing, I'm going to make a transition into falling, and the conditions for that are going to be if is grounded, false. So if I'm go from grounded to not grounded, I want to go into falling. The other thing I want to go into falling is make transition from jumping into falling, and that's my behavior there is not behavior. Sorry, I need to go to the transition itself and add a condition to that. This has exit time is like something where you can get really detailed inside of the like frames of it and make it transition at a specific frame. I don't like that just because I don't know how to use it, I guess is the fairest way to say that. But really, vel y is less than 0. So we have a negative velocity in the y direction. We're not jumping anymore, we're falling. And it could even be less than a number too. We could go less than like 4 if we want to make it like there'd be a little transition where we're kind of arcing and we start into the falling thing. 4 is not the real number. I'm just giving you an example. But let's just start here. Let's not get overcomplicated. Making it work is the most important piece often. And okay, so from falling, where do we go? We'd be stuck. We want to make a transition back into standing. If, can you guess? If is grounded is true, when we land, we're going to be grounded. We'll go back into standing. That should be that. There's no way to get into any other state from falling right now. I mean, we probably can like make a transition to jumping to, and we will make it based on the fact that if our velocity y is greater than 0, then we transition back. The big point there being like if we ever want to jump again, maybe that goes from falling back into jumping. Should be pretty interesting. I don't know that we're gonna deal with that, but let's just see what happens with this. I think we should disappear when we're falling because I don't think I've set an animation for falling. But best thing to do sometimes is just see. All right, so we got a guy. He's slashing, slash, slash. He's gonna jump. Oh, I actually did have the falling animation set up already, and it feels pretty good. I'm jumping way too high, and like I feel like I don't like that you can, because like it feels weird if I'm moving back and forth with that animation, but it's okay. It's like not something to get caught up in it. The feeling is there enough. I like that. Because that is like you get the teleport in there, and then you get this extra reach. And if you're moving forward, you put the reach even further in front of you. So that's a way to like really get a little spear shot on them. Maybe, who knows? You don't know till you play. Hey, we got some views. Say hi in the chat. I have the chat up over here now. Like that's my improvement from yesterday. Is that I have 2 monitors, believe it or not. And am I on frame pretty good? Hopefully. All right, that's okay. You don't also need to say hi in chat. You are just welcome to silently observe. I appreciate you being here. Hey, hello, Kierden. How's it going? So yeah, we got the falling. We're rocking and rolling. There's still that bug where it like has like a little stall there. I don't know if you guys are seeing that, but it's just sometimes it gets like a little stall there at the end. I bet it's if I'm jumping multiple times. Whoa, that was weird. See, like there's something in there when I'm changing directions, but wow, I like it. It is like here's the thing, like if I can make this feel good, the game is gonna be good. No matter what I do with it, because like you give people toys, they want to play with it. And if there's enough depth to really like play with the toy a lot against another person, they're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So that's why I really spend a lot of time at this stage, just like I want to feel like Samurai Jack, papoosh, So all right, let's get into what's going on here. I think before we get to the smash, which if you're hotly anticipating the smash, that came out wrong. If you are excited about that attack, we are. That's the plan, is to get to it today. But the reality is, we're not there with the jump yet. It's too floaty. We're gonna mess with the levers of that. And I think that's going to be here. Here's here's the main things that kinda this is my jumper script, it's what creates the jump. It's based on a lot of things. First of all, there's a timer, which is gonna count up when you start the jump. There's a jump turn min, which is like you cannot escape the jump in this time, it gives you your shortest jump. There's a jump turn max, which is gonna stop. The reality of the way that I give you this variable float is like, I just don't apply I give you upward acceleration of the same time, but I just don't apply gravity until you let go of the button or this max happens. But if you let go of the button before this one, I still don't apply gravity until the min. So that's how you make it give you a tap jump that feels really consistent, but give you a jump that's variable. I'll show that real quick because we have the game going. So tap, jump, tap, jump. And there's a pretty big distance between those two, holding and just tapping. That's what we're really focused on here with the one but thing is the one button game is like there is a way to give a lot of expressiveness. Like we're going to really explore that and dig into that. Like holding is one of our most obvious tools when we're talking about ways to make control schemes feel bigger. Okay, so let's keep going here. Um, the biggest thing that's going to affect us is going to be our jump acceleration, which is 2.5. And our jump gravity, which is going to essentially like what gives us the floating part. Um, I do want to. I sometimes think about giving a fall gravity so you can really like mess with the tail, but we're just going to stick with this right now, and I'm going to make the jump acceleration just slightly smaller. A big thing that I'm about is like you can go to the extra digits, and that's like a lot of times where the perfect feeling is, or maybe I just feel that way because I go to all that effort. But I'm going to say we're at 2.5. That's too flat of a number. Numbers are never flat. It's got to be 2 point. I'm going to say 1.6. That's where I'm feeling it. We're in the game here. Let's see. Does that how much does that change? It's a little lower, but I don't like that I can jump all the way across screen. Maybe I'll like that later. It does have just that does have a really nice feel though. This character is really coming along. Um so let's keep messing with it. Here's the thing: we got to push it too. We got to so like there's no way to know that's right until we know till we feel it wrong. So let's just straight up push the boundaries. Let's say 2.16. What we're doing? Let's go 1.6. Like let's really drop it and just make it feel really short. I mean, that's still we're still jumping the whole screen. Okay, let's kill it. Let's kill it. We don't jump at all. We're like a one jumper. What does that do? That okay, that jump really feels explosive and weighty. This feels really nice. There's still that bug that just you float just for that like second. Is it possible that I have a really high set on my because this jumper, there's this driver, this is what gives you back and forth motion, and it has somehow it knows that you're grounded by something, and I'm not sure if I have that set to something and it's wrong. No, yeah, for some reason, like I just have this weird thing that happens when I get close to the ground, and it just slows me down. But bugs be bugs. This feels good, and there'll be a smash there. And I like the idea that like the rising is you don't get an option to do anything in the rise because like you haven't built up your momentum to do the smash. And that will be a time to like they just did an attack, so they have to have a cooldown, and that rise will be the cooldown, and that'll be very positional because hopefully you'll be able to like turn back from it, and then you're not facing the right direction to do your smash. Or I like there's a lot of stuff to play with there. Like we want it to be a positional game, so that feels right. It's very explosive though. I'm teleport. I think there's a teleport. Um, one way that we can always like really find out is just slow time way down. Like, let's just make it like 0.1 scale, and then we can really see. Yeah, I teleport, and then okay. Yeah, there is a teleport in there, and I thought it should be based on this thing called the slice magnitude, which I guess is set to 1. So what if we set it to 0? Is that part of our problem? No, it's still pushing us. I just want to set this to 0 for a second and see if I'm using the wrong magnitude for that, because I shouldn't be teleporting. Oh, I'm teleporting, definitely. Or is that just, well, okay, well, this is part of coding. We're going to have bugs. Is this a bug we want to get caught up on right now? Yeah. Yeah, I kind of do. So let's jump into the code. What I run for is C#, and I run a lot of like my own like state management stuff through enumerators, which I think reads really easy, but could be confusing to people. So if you have any questions about it, please ask. But what is happening here is we start in the stand state, and we kind of run our enumerator with what I'll call, well, this is actually running. If you in an enumerator, when you start a coroutine inside of Unity, it's gonna every time you yield, it's gonna just run an update. But you can actually get it to like rerun you on other things, like if you return a fixed update, which I guess I'm not doing that here because it's all direction input, and direction input is not over the physics frame. But I always run into like weird things when I do that, so I'm just gonna, for the sake of optimize later, I'm gonna create I create what's called a breath, and what a breath is just what you're gonna yield, and this is gonna be a new wait for fixed frame. And then we're yield return the breath instead of null. When you yield return something that's not null, it will like it'll run it as its own enumerator at the same thing until it calls again and breaks out of this, which is what wait for fixed frame does. And I take advantage of that to do other things, like kick off my other states. Like if you are not grounded and you were in the stand, where do you go? The falling state. If you are, it reads a lot like the animator state controller, right? If you have a player jump down, we go into the slice, which is where we start our jump. And that's actually where we have the bug. So let's jump in there. This is our slice class. We're going to instantiate the slice object. I'm going to show you that real quick. When you do these attacks, I actually create a separate object that is going to be like a trigger zone that tells me if there's somebody I got to hurt in that zone. And that also is going to have the graphics for your smear effect when you're in the animation. And that white, you can kind of see it. It goes draw and then it disappears if you see that in the editor. And then if I get the slice is the one when I jump. So that's what's being instantiated. And then we're going to set its transform to be our transform. When we say transform.position, that just means our position. So we grab the slice, which is another object, and we say set its position to our position. When I say our, I mean it's the object that this script is running on, which is the player character in this case. We are going to get the slash component off of this slice. So every slash, that little thing that I make, it's got a class of its own, and in it we have this class that determines how long it's going to appear for. If we open this up, you'll see that it's just got a slash term, which determines how long it's going to appear for. And we created this flash state, which just says we are going to not be in existence rendered at all while we're experiencing this slash. While the slash term, and we just go, well, the slash timer is less than the slash term. We're just going to keep breathing, and then we'll come back, and then this is where we're going to do the flash, the actual flash here. Oh, that's draw, and we're in slice. So yeah, we do still, oh, okay. Well, that is very clearly why, because it's just hard-coded here to 1, and it should be slice magnitude, right? So, well, that bug fixed. Let's go. And that is going to really, if we can hone that in, that's going to feel really good, because that actually gives it a really explosive feeling. And I kind of like the fact that you just get this blur and then you are flung up already in the air. I think that's going to work really well. But let us see. Playing is knowing. I have planned so many things in my head that are so fun until you actually feel them and you're like, this doesn't feel fun at all. So let's get a feeling for it. Let's get a feeling for it. Oh, I have bugs. I have bugs. The types of wait, oh shoot. So yeah. Here's the thing. I have shut off AI for these and I've shut off I don't have shut off autocomplete. That's what I should tell people. I don't know why autocomplete isn't working. There is a reason for it, and I should just fix it. Know your tools. We were talking about this before. But I haven't. And wait for fixed update is what it's called. So we have it everywhere. So why isn't it? Oh, because I in slice. No, wait. It was up here that I did it, and I named it wait for fixed frame. Sorry. Especially when I'm talking and get distracted, like I'm gonna do a lot of dumb stuff. You guys are gonna witness it. I may not be a smart man. I am a persistent man. That's my goal. So this is taking forever. Let's start it. Everything runs a little slower when I am streaming for I think pretty obvious reasons, but bear with me. Okay, so we did all this. This should be the same because I'm pretty sure we had slice magnitude set to the pretty sure we had it set to like the same. So I'm just gonna also check the Deathball Discord. If you guys don't know, there's a Deathball Discord. If you go to discord.deathball.cab, you'll get an invite to the Discord. It's the best place to probably be connected to the community around the building of this game and the building of Deathball, which is the first one but platformer arcade only game that I built. If anybody wants to know why arcade only, hit it up in the chat. I'll gladly go through that. I like talking. I love talking about that. So, but I'm not gonna just get distracted by it right now unless somebody wants to hear about it. But okay. So let's get rid of the slice magnitude, and let's just see how that feels. See now my like jump is like so. It's so wait, it's like so it was much better before. It had this nice explosive air to it. So we're definitely going to put something there. And this is what I'm talking about. Like you push it until you find a way that it like feels bad. Then you learn more about it. So 0 is bad. 0 is not right. 5.5. I am experiencing some bug where I can't jump. Yeah, I wonder if this is because I bet this is exactly because of the thing that I just changed. So this is, I told you, I'm going to do some dumb stuff, which is I don't actually want to breathe here because I guess if I the complicated difference between, and I'm not obviously not like perfectly grokking this, but the biggest difference between fixed frame and a regular frame is that a fixed frame is for physics. It has a fixed amount of time, like 0.2 milliseconds or whatever. So if you go like 0.6 milliseconds between frames, it's going to run the fixed update 3 times because things move in those frames, and you can still calculate where they would have been, even though you're never going to show them in those positions because things can move through each other. So fixed frame is where you do your physical checking, and button checking is not a physical checking thing, and it probably should be done in the non-fixed frame. I'm not sure if that's where this bug is coming from, but I'm certainly going to check because first place to check is when you change something, change it back. I'm getting a bug where it's not jumping me for some reason. Got to turn it off and on. So that really gives it a lot, like that's, it sets back to 1 because I turned it off and on. So 0.5, let's see. Okay, that little bug there is really. I'm still jumping all the. I guess the jump across the screen, I got to realize is going to be more about my horizontal movement than my height movement. My height is the okay. The basis of this is going to be like my height is what I'm looking at, and that feels like a nice arc. Okay. It just launches so nicely. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna push it because we wanna. I wanna break it. I wanna make it like this is where it's not as fun anymore. This is not. That's well. It's a lot more like well. Maybe here's what I'm gonna do. I have the levers to shorten up the speed too, and it's basically I have spin and flip. Uh, Spin is the first jump, flip is the second jump. That's a death ball reason for that, but and that's why this is called the wizard costume. But it's a thing that changes the drive, brake, limiter, neutral, and speed max for everything at its different states. So that's why, like I'm moving at a speed that's slower until I jump, and then I'm really sailing. And I like that. It gives jumping springiness. So and the problem is like everything's gonna so the drive is what's gonna tell you when you're moving in the direction of your momentum, how much acceleration to give you. The brake is gonna tell you if you're moving opposite the direct if your joystick's opposite of the direction of your momentum, how much force to apply against you. And sometimes you want them to be different. Like you want to turn on a dime, but you want to accelerate, you want to take time to accelerate. Those are things you want to play with. The limiter is if I'm above the speed from above whatever the top speed is, what's the braking power that gets me back to that top speed? And your speed max is your speed, your neutral is going to be if I let go of the joystick and I have momentum. At what rate do I reduce what force do I reduce that momentum down to zero? And those all come together to give you a really good feel that you guys can't see in the screen, but like when I'm letting off of the button, there's just a little maybe it's only 2 frames, maybe it's 3 frames. Those frames, they matter to feeling. And like this is my most important lesson. If I could distill any lesson, it's like those subtle frames. There are things that your brain sees that you don't, that are important to the feeling of a game, and you got to commit to those. That's why I say there's no flat numbers. Get to those extra decimal places, significant digits. Let's go. All right. So lesson aside, let's look at this. It's going to be our speed max. On the ground, we're 1.7. In the air, we're 2.5. Those are going to be the things we want to look at the most. This drive gets us up to this very fast. So that's what, like when we launch, no matter what speed we are, we're going to be up to 2.5 pretty fast. So we can set that to anything. We can go to 2 and just be like, it'll be a little, let's just feel it. See, we're still getting like a deep, we're still in that, but you can see that is what's reducing the distance that we go. And so, I mean, if we're the thing about death ball is I wanted your state of flying to be faster than your state of running because I wanted you to get in the air. That was the whole point of making it that way. But you're supposed to be running full speed here, so maybe it'll feel right to just be going the same speed. And it doesn't feel bad at all, actually. It feels pretty good. So that's okay. Well, heck, we're getting pretty close here. For anybody who's joined us along the way, this is what we're trying to build. Let's see if I just repeat this once. Let's just repeat this 10 times. Okay. I have this thing where it keeps playing these trash frames, so I just want to make it so you guys can actually see it without the trash frames. But oh yeah, I actually have some other trash frames in there now too. But this is what we're trying to build. That smash. Yeah, I guess you got to get the little. There's like a wiggle thing that's happening over here that actually I should put it there because I can always just start the animation from there. And so it's just meant to like give this sense of like waving, like he's standing there. It's like just imagine you're waiting for the match to begin and those are just like floating there. I think that's gonna look so cool. Let me get a thumbs up in the chat if that's gonna look cool. Yeah? Heck yeah. Thank you, Bennett. That's what I'm talking about. All right. This is A Sprite, by the way. This is where I build my sprites. And yeah, these are the trash frames. They're just frames where I keep things that I was messing around with, studies and stuff that I might need later. Like, is this the speed that I wanted? I decided to just remove this from the entire attack cycle and just make it be a single falling smear. And like right through here, whatever this is, we're just going to extend this downward. So if we drop the whole frame, this will just be a white beam of light. It'll just cut through anything immediately. And I think that's going to feel really good. Okay, so we are actually going to get to the smash. This I'm calling this game draw slash smash, because those are the stages of those cycles: drawing, smashing, and slashing are your three ways to hurt. And we are building the smash part. We have the draw, the slash, and we want the smash. Okay. And then the goal is by Thursday to put another player facing you and fight it out and just see if there's any fun in that at all. Because that's the thing, just never, you can't, I'm not designing a game. I am discovering the fun of it. I'm just putting myself out there, testing things and seeing what feels right. So enough babbling. Let's get to doing stuff. We're going to get into the code here. So when are we going to do smash? It's going to be when we're in the jump state. Actually, when we're in the falling state. Here's something that's, is this make anybody nervous? Let's see. We have the tools to fix it. Okay. So let me just see. The screen's just flashed. I want to make sure we're looking still. Everything's still going. Okay. So flash, slice, those states we don't care about. Draw, those states we don't care about. Stand, we don't care about. I got to go to jump. Jump is the state that we're interested in, and I can just command click to it. Yep. Okay. So jump is the state we're interested in. We're going to start here. We're going to set our upward velocity. Then we're going to, this is coming after the slash too, by the way. So now this is what gives us our upward velocity. And then here's where we're just going to like chill out until the jump turn min is done. Just breathe until the jump turn min is done. Then we're going to come down here and we're just going to breathe until either the max happens or we're no longer pressing the button. And that's what gives you the variable jump. Then we're going to apply gravity, and we apply not your normal gravity. We apply jump gravity. I don't know if we ever apply the normal gravity to you, but for the sake of this, it allows you to very much control how floaty the end of your jump is. Set some jump state that I was going to use for the animator, but I'm turning out not to need yet. And then we're just like, while we're still rising, we're going to breathe, and then we're going to go into jump state falling, and then we're going to do, and this is what I want to fix is right now I just handle falling until we're grounded. Then I like exit, and whatever state I was in, it goes back to, which is going to be the stand state, because the stand state is the one that instantiates this state. But falling is another state that I instantiate when you're just in the stand state and you're not grounded anymore. And I don't want to do this. There's a principle in coding called don't repeat yourself, dry. And I don't want to repeat myself. If I'm going to be in a falling state, I just want to be in the falling state. And so that comes right here. We're just going to, instead of doing it ourselves, we're just going to yield return falling. And the reason that's important here is because in the falling state is where we're going to actually build the ability to smash. And so right here we have like while driver is not grounded, we're going to breathe. So we're just falling until we're grounded, then set jump count to 0 and exit. Perfect. But here we're going to do another check. Like if we are, and we want the same thing here. Or is it? We have our input controller, our singleton input controller that controls all the inputs, because I just wanted to, this is all for arcade, by the way, arcade only. Like I'm going to build this into a cabinet and you're going to fight people like on the same cab. So I really just like cut through all the controller BS and built my own instance of an input controller that just has everything I want on it. And so if I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I can always find it and paste it. If the input controller instance player jump 1 is the player index, but I'm just hard coding it to 1 here because in prototypes you just get stuff built. You can always clean it up. If it's good, you'll clean it up. If it's bad, you didn't waste your time making it really clean. At some point, it'll get annoying that it's not clean. That's a good sign. That means that you made a prototype that you're interested in. It's going to suck when it happens, but that's progress. Okay, let's see. We need a new state because we're gonna. I have no state for this smash, as we're gonna call it. We don't really. Do we need to pass the horizontal in? I want to say, yeah, we'll pass the horizontal in. And that is like what direction we're holding on the horizontal, or more importantly, like right now it's which direction we're holding on the joystick, but it actually should be the direction of our velocity. But here's the thing, Smash doesn't need to care about that. As long as whatever provides it correctly, Smash just needs to put the Smash figure in the right spot, to the front of it or to behind it, based on. So jump state doesn't have a smashing state, but we're just write it. We'll fix it later. It'll tell us. Jump count I don't care about because this is something I might have to fix later, but that was for Death Ball, where you got many jumps. Here you don't. I think you're just going to get one jump for now. That's what we're building. We'll take a breath. We'll probably want to do a breath in here at some point, so let's just bring that in. The reason I do this, and like people might not like this, because I don't like to instantiate inside loops. And if you do a new inside of a loop, you're like right here, you're just going to keep instantiating and wait for a fixed update, which is probably not that big a deal, but that's why I avoid it. And I just create a breath and then I just breathe in there. I think it reads nicer too. While. Almost always have a while in a state. How long? What are we running this state until? I guess truthfully, this is all going to happen in a flash and they're going to be grounded. I think actually the hardest part is I have to teleport you till you're at the ground. I don't exactly know right away how to do that. I think what I'm going to have to do is do what's called a raycast downwards until I contact a surface, and then I'm going to have to get the contact point of that surface and be like, that's where you need to be now. Because what I want it to be, I think, and it might change, but I want it to feel like a fall and then a just straight smash, one frame, everything. And let's do this. We're going to have to instantiate a smash. Because when we do the slice, when we do the draw, that's the first thing we do is we instantiate the smash. So let's just, or the whatever the slash is. So this is going to be a smash, and it's going to be the smash object. If you're like, what is the smash object? What are you instantiating? I'll show you that in just a little bit, and then we're instantiating at a position. That's weird because I immediately set the position. I'm starting to think I don't need to do that because I instantiated at a position, but let's not get in there to change that. And then I'm going to put it, the local scale is going to be negative or positive, the horizontal that we got, which horizontal it says a flow, but it's always going to be 1 or -1 because it should be signed passed into here. And then we are going to yield return flash. And what flash does, and I gotta call this. Yeah, this is the smash now because we're doing the smash now, and we're gonna flash the smash. This is getting comical almost. I have up here I have flash the slash. We're gonna flash. We're gonna take a slash. But what flash does is it just removes the render for the character until the the slash, which is an object that we generate that's going to be the hurt box, goes away. And that's to kind of make it pop in and out. And that's like something I'm really trying to focus on, is that very clear. This is the white flash that's going to pop in, and if you're in it, you're hurt. I don't know what that's going to mean yet. Like, does it kill you right away, or does it take a heart away? I don't know, but that's going to be the detection of that. So really clear and crisp hitboxes is what we're going for. Sorry, sometimes I just get to talking. Basically, if we have, and I don't want it to be, I want it to be down. If we press down on the button, we are going to yield return smash, and we got to pass the horizontal. So it's almost like, are we getting that somewhere above that we could keep passing downward? Like, no, it's coming out of the falling is coming out of the jump, and that doesn't. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna have to test the horizontal at this point. We're gonna query that as well. So var horizontal input equals input controller dot instance, and get the instance of the input controller, and we're going to check for player horizontal, and we're going to pass the index 1 because we're hard coding that, which I will regret later. And then like I said, we're going to turn it into a 1 or a 0. So we're going to do math f, the math functions, and we're going to sign. And all sign does is what I just said. It takes any float and it turns it into -1 or, sorry, not -1 or 0, -1 or 1. We sign it. We essentially pop the sign off of it, because that's all we care about, is which direction, left or right. Then we pass that into the smash. And that will tell us which side of our body to generate that thing on. And the origin of it is tucked to the corner, so it'll flip entirely around our body based on that. So I've been talking for a long time. Anybody got any questions? I'll just want to take a drink. If you got a question, throw it in the chat. I'll happily answer anything, and then we'll go back to making the smash work, which is going to be challenging, but I think we'll get it. All right, let's move on. So like I said, we got to slice out this middle, and we got to make it extend. I don't really know how to do that. We got to find the bottom, and we got to put it there. I don't really know how to do that. So let's get started here. We know we're going to instantiate the object. We know we're going to flash while the object exists. And then here is where we need to do the teleport, which is I'm sure I could like dry this up a bit, because we're doing a very similar thing as slice and as draw, which is we're instantiating the object, we are flashing while it exists, and then we are teleporting. And in draw case, we are actually giving ourselves a velocity right away, because it makes it feel like you spring into it. So same here, but we actually go into a jump afterwards. I guess that's slightly different, but this is what we want. We are going to want to do this. Oops, we're going to want to do inside smash. We're going to want to do this afterwards. And it's going to be negative. I'm just going to do it exactly like this. It's not going to because let's get everything working except for the hard bits. And then I'll probably just quit stream and never do it again. So I'm joking. And I don't even know if I have it cut out. So let's just like get through all the. There's this term that's called yak shaving, which comes from a Ren and Stimpy episode where they're going to shave their yak. They spend the whole episode buying all the supplies to do it. And it's a term that like we use to describe like all of the work you have to do to start to do the thing you wanted to do. I should just call this whole channel Infinite Yak Shaving. So what I need is the wizard. Nope, that's hey, hello, DevBlog guy. I need to go to sprites. I need to grab this one. I need to actually go into the sprite editor again and properly cut out our smash sprite, which is right here. And I still don't have it like looking right, but it'll look good enough to like make sure that the mechanics work. And I think it would be fun someday to just do like sit there and do pixel art. But why? Oh, I gotta exit out of this and then close this, and then we are going to go back into the sprite editor. Can't edit the sprites while you're in play mode. There's a lot of stuff they do around that safety, which is probably helped me more than it's hurt me, but it's annoying at times. And see, like I wanted to go big. I wanted to have this like loop here. I just ran out of spots on the canvas, and I just decided not to change it because as soon as I change it, I might have to rebox all this stuff, which is not that difficult, but trying to get to the fastest thing. This will get us approximation. That's what we're going for. Approximation over perfection. So apply that. And now if we look in, okay, I thought I applied that and it just, no, okay. That just totally apply. Okay. And then if we look here, you'll see it's got the right size. God, that really is a bold edge there that it has. So that's fine. I mean, essentially, it's going to be bolder, I guess, if we extend it. But right now, all I want to do is generate it. And so what we're going to do here is I'm just going to uncheck this. I'm going to call it Smash because I've gone from naming it Strike to Smash because I like that. It's got a sprite render on it. We don't want the sprite render. We want this sprite to be rendered. And we got to flip it. And where is our... Is there green in this? Why is it? Oh, it's probably, I guess it's kind of perfectly covering up that guy, which is pretty normal, and he'll disappear when we do the smash. And that's it, I guess. But I want it to be, that's the thing, I want it actually to be, I want it to be below the player, because the player is going to be smashing down. And let's just see if I got that right. So where is the origin at? So I think the origin of the character, like when it's here, is right here. And if I like look at that box, where I would want it to be, I think is like right, just like maybe do a custom one and move it like right here, just so it's like kind of lined up in the right spot, and we'll get it perfection later. Because that's going to determine like where it is, where it determines, like it's got a position and then it draws everything out from that position. And I just set where to tell it to start drawing that from. So that's it's called the origin. Okay. So yeah, okay, yeah. So like I guess yeah, and then I'm gonna teleport to down where that spot is. So that feels right. It's got to get longer if you teleport down, but I'm just gonna do the teleport right now and see if it even feels. Just get it working. So this is now an object inside of our class. We want it to have a slash, which tells it how long to last, and we need that for the flash. And we want it to be pretty instantaneous, we said, but like we've been having luck with 0.52, so 0.052, so let's leave it at that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take it out of the scene and we're going to put it into a prefab. And the prefab is like something that now we can just generate as many of as we want. So like if I go to the scene here, I could just drag a bunch of these smashes in here. And when I run, they'll all disappear because they only have 0.52 seconds to live and they disappear. And eventually they'll hurt things because they'll have the hurt class on it. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to add them to Zeb jumper class as the smash object, which we haven't opened up as a thing to be hooked into in our code. So the nice thing about editors and programming games is you can do this thing where you just say like, I'm just going to give you a game object and I'm going to connect it inside of that editor. So I'm just going to give me this hook to talk about it. And remember, I actually have already I've already used it here. We just never got around to adding it up there. So, and the same with like jump state smashing, right? That's going to be something that that they complain about if there's no smashing state. That's never mind. Okay. And smash magnitude. Smash magnitude. We have a slice magnitude. And we'll kind of put some of this stuff together. Like these all go together. The draw on I called it flash, not realizing I was going to flash multiple times. So I'll rename it eventually. And yeah, we got to teleport. We're going to teleport down. I'm just going to say -1, and we're using this, right? Yep, negative. Oh, I'm doing negative smash magnitude, right? Because negative's a direction, and I only want a magnitude. Okay, let's see if we can get this to run, compile, and do our attack. I'm awful at semicolons. You're gonna, if you watch any of these for a time, you will come to understand that. And so let's see, the other line was 209. So there we go. And that was, yeah, we're gonna flash the smash. Yeah, we talked about that. So let's just, at some point, I'm like not entirely sure what's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna work, but you just gotta do it just to know. It says cannot convert game object to slash, and where is that gonna happen at? Right here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're okay. We're not flashing the smash. I guess we got to get the slash from the smash and then flash the slash. So sorry that you're witnessing this. It's going to melt my mind. All right. Okay. It's going to let us run, I think. It's taking forever, but... Oh, and it broke because it says smash okay, yeah. So we did everything except hook the actual smash object up to the prefab. So let's get the smash and let's hook it into this prefab. And then let's run this. It's taking just forever to start up. I think it's because I'm streaming. So I'll just get a joke book, then I'll just tell jokes. Okay, hey, that was interesting. That's wow. That is kind of what I wanted. It's just we're not extending that sprite down, but that is like this is it kind of. It's buggy as all heck, and there's like got to be smoothed out, but this is the attack cycle. I don't know why I'm falling there. Oh, because I said down, and I must pop into this and then up. Like, I bet if I reduced my smash magnitude to something smaller, like 0.1, I would not go all the way down. My guess is I'm lucky that this bottom block is so big that I'm like, yeah. I'm not just teleporting a little bit, but that's kind of cool because it's sometimes you're just trying to simulate in the fastest fashion what you're trying to build towards, and that is it, I think. So I'm gonna just undo that, turn it back to 1. I bet you I could turn it high enough and teleport through that barrier, but this is there's something. It's not always working. And as you can see, like a lot of the stuff we did with the driver, it got reset when I went back and forth. And I think what we basically determined is that we want it to be 1.7. And I think we set a different jump acceleration, but that's, oh yeah, we definitely had a different slice magnitude. That was 0.52 because I thought that was good. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now it's starting to really feel tight. That's one thing about when you're. Oh, see, I went through. I bet I'm like just like sailing downward now. There we go. Okay. Okay, but that is it. That is, and it needs some refinement, but that is it. Y'all, we did it. High five. High five. One concurrent viewer. Seriously though, like this helps me focus tremendously and process my thoughts about what I'm trying to build. So even if it's just one person out there and you're not even listening, I appreciate it because this has been a lot of progress over 3 days. I'm glad that the journey's getting kind of documented. So cool. And I went through again. All right. Well, if anybody has any questions, comments, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put in the chat Discord HTTP. Can I put links in here? We're going to find out. Discord.deathball.cab. And that's where you can find out about more stuff. That's where you can connect with the community of people that play Deathball and see more DevBlog stuff. So, in lieu of any questions, I'll hang around for just a little bit, but in lieu of any questions, I think I'm going to sign off. It's been real. Next time we'll work on this. I'm also going to work on the walking and the like standing stuff. So this little like blowing in the wind stuff, and then him walking, because I want there to be a state where you're not drawn yet. You're just moving back and forth, and you're kind of slowly walking, and it's slow, but it gives you this opportunity to get your first attack when they're in range, and there'll be kind of a chicken and the egg around that. We'll see, but that's the goal. All right, y'all. See you next time on another episode of Draw/Smash.